Corporate on our show now. ITD cementation is in focus after bagging a new order worth rupees 4,850 crores. This project is to construct a 6-lane greenfield expressway in Uttar Pradesh. To discuss the revenue potential, the deal pipeline going forward, as well as the outlook for the business at large, we're joined by the company's CFO, Mr. Prasad Patwardhan, on the show now. Sir, good morning and thanks a lot for joining us. This is Pavitra. First, if you could just start off by talking us through some of the details of this project. What is the kind of revenue potential, and also what is the execution timeline of this project?
Good morning, Pavitra, and thank you for this opportunity to speak to you. This order size is about 4,850 crores plus taxes. The project is to be executed over a period of roughly 30 months. So, that gives us a revenue visibility of about, 1,500, 1,600 crores annually for the next 3 years on this project.
Hi, Mr. Patwardhan. Good morning. What are the kind of margins that you would enjoy on an order like this? And could more such orders be forthcoming?
Well, the order pipeline is pretty good. We are looking at orders not just in the road space, but in other segments, where we have the expertise and experience like underground metros and marine projects and tunneling projects. So the order pipeline is pretty good. Even in the last financial year, we saw new order flows of about 7,700 crores. With this new order, the order flow in the last 2 months has been in excess of 5,000 crores. So we are seeing a pretty good flow of new tenders coming up, and the order flow is expected to be pretty good in this year.
Mr. Patwardhan, morning. This is Reema Tendulkar here. This is the largest EPC contract in the company's history, and it's a large.
All right, looks like we're having some trouble with Reema's feed, so we're going to try to reconnect. Sir, in the meantime, if I can just ask you, you did mention that you are seeing a lot more orders come through in other segments as well. Can you tell us, is there anything else on the anvil?
Well, we are looking at projects, and these tenders are going to come up for bidding maybe in the next month or 2 months. So, there are some marine orders. We are looking at some in Sri Lanka and in Bangladesh as well. The Sri Lanka project is probably going to be on hold because of the political situation over there. But we are looking at projects in Bangladesh and a lot more tenders coming up in India in the sectors that I mentioned earlier, which is underground metros and marine and tunneling projects. That is what we are going to focus
on. Mr. Patwardhan, this is Reema Tendulkar here. It's nice to chat with you. Since you've started FY23 on a strong note with more than 5,000 crores of orders in hand, do you think there is an upside to your guidance of 20 to 25% revenue growth for FY23?
Well, last year we have seen a growth of about 40% in our top line. This year is expected to be good, but these new projects that, for example, this road project that we have won, the real execution will pick up, it will take some time, maybe in a couple of months. So, the turnover that we do out of this project in the current year may not be that significant. We'll have to spend a couple of months on mobilization, etc. But nonetheless, we hope to do better than 20-25%. Let's see how things pan out from here on. We are going to be facing some headwinds on the commodity prices as well. So we need to factor that in. I think 20-25% is something that we can comfortably look at and hope for, something better than that as well in this year.
Okay, so you're largely retaining your FY23 revenue guidance. What about on the margins on this particular order? Is there a cost escalation clause inbuilt? And for the full year, do you think you will be able to bring your margins to at least low double digits?
Well, the escalation clauses are there in this project. Like in most of our projects, we do have escalation clauses. Well, the margins, we hope to improve our margins going forward, but that will largely depend on how the commodity prices pan out. The commodity prices, if they start, moderating to some extent, we'll see an improvement in our margins. Nonetheless, the new orders that we have won in the last year and in the current year as well, we expect those projects to deliver better margins, and we should see an improvement in our margins from Q3 or Q4 of this year.
Mr. Patwardhan, we are seeing COVID cases on the rise again. Would that in any way impact maybe execution of projects?
Well, as of now, we are not seeing any impact of, the rise in COVID cases. The good thing is, the hospitalization rate and the death rates are also pretty low at the moment. So as of now, we don't see any significant impact of these rising COVID cases on our operations.
Sir, another project that you're working on is the Bangalore Metro Tunnel project. Last we checked, it was completed around 25%. Can you take us through what the timeline on this looks like, and when do you see this entire project being completed?
This project will take another 2.5 years to complete. We just started tunneling last year in June. So it's been just around a year that we are doing the tunneling work with 2 tunnel boring machines over there. The project is progressing pretty well. We are seeing a very good progress of the tunneling work on both the tunnel boring machines. So that project is going pretty well.
What is your order inflow guidance for the full year? Last year, you've done 7,700 crore. This year, in 2 months or 2.5 months, you've already had 5,000 crore of order inflows. For the full year, what is the number that we're looking at?
Well, before we got this order, we were looking at an order flow of something similar to what we did last year. But now, obviously, with this order coming through, I would not like to hazard a guess, but I certainly hope that we'll be able to outdo our last year's performance in terms of order flows. So, I guess anywhere around 8,000-9,000 also is a possibility in terms of new order flows this year.
Okay, 8,000 to 9,000 crore of new order inflows for FY23 is possible. And just one question, you said the Sri Lankan project is on hold. What's the size? And will that impact you in any way?
No, we were discussing that with the client, in terms of the scope, etc. So I wouldn't be able to give you a number at this stage. But given the political situation in Sri Lanka, I don't see that project really taking off in the immediate future. If things were to improve in Sri Lanka, we'll see, but it will be difficult to give you a number at this stage.
Okay, sir, just one more thing, if you could explain to us what is the kind of margin that you see on the different segments, so in road, in airports, in water, what is the kind of different margins that you have in these segments?
Well, typically underground metro and marine projects tend to give us better margins. The elevated metro projects, because of various reasons, the margins are not that good. They are significantly muted. So typically we have seen better margins flowing through on the marine segment and the underground metro segments. But that is also to some extent being moderated because of the increase in the commodity prices.
We're coming back to the margins, and I know it's, very fluid. The commodity prices are fluctuating as we speak. But you said the margins on the recently won orders are higher. What is higher? Is it 10%, 11%, 12%?
Well, these are, double-digit margins is what we are looking at on these orders.
Double-digit?
Double-digit margins, in the range of 10 to 12%.